Well, it's a well-supported event, this one, Bobby. Is it very high in the consciousness of the Canadian public?
Absolutely. This is the largest one-week event on the calendar, Jason. About 150,000 people attending this week. That's the expected turnout. When you got to serve like Anderson, there's really not a lot you can do, but sometimes just block and bunt and just try to get a racket on it. Sometimes it's discouraging when you get a racket on it and don't get it in play.
What do you think about his volleys, Bobby?
I still think they need a little bit of work for a big guy. You know, they could be a bit better, especially on the low ones. He seems to struggle a bit. Sometimes if you try to punch it a little bit too much, maybe it's a little bit of a softer hand, a little bit more feel.
Is that something you can develop, or is that either something you've got or you haven't?
30-15.
I definitely think it can be trained, absolutely. You know, gripping the racket maybe a little bit too tight sometimes on the low volley, maybe easing up a little bit, using a bit more touch, using a bit more feel around the net as opposed to power. We talked a little bit about maybe using a bit more touch. I thought this was a pretty good drop volley, maybe stuck a little bit too much, but Wawrinka using a lot of power, and that's a great strategy against a big guy like Anderson. Right at him, hit hard. You know, he's got those long arms, and sometimes the best play is a little bit closer to him, and I don't think Anderson quite expected that. Nice extension of the wrist at the last second. Really pushed Wawrinka on that first shot all the way in the absolute corner of the court. Had a small opening down the line, and he made the most of it. Great touch by Wawrinka. There we talked a little about that soft hand, using a bit of feel, a bit of angle. Not going to punch that volley. Kind of let it absorb off your strings into the open court. Well done. He's fired up, Jason. Great point there, I thought. One of the things that Anderson did on that point compared to the last break point was he made the return. He hit it down the center of the court, made Wawrinka play. He knows Wawrinka may be a little bit nervous there. And that's an important thing on break points. Make your opponent earn it as opposed to giving it away. That first serve percentage to me was the killer, 41%. And against a guy like Kevin Anderson, who's consistently aggressive on the second serve return, that's eventually going to come back to haunt you. Kevin Anderson, on the other end of it, was just flawless on that first serve. Not only did he have the variation, the power, but he also had the disguise, had Wawrinka guessing all the time, and was just unbeatable in the second set on the serve. Wawrinka didn't even have a break point.
Well, with Murray and Suarez, I like the contrasted styles. I think one of the things that they do very well is you got the true lefty in every sense of the word in Jamie Murray. He's going to be using that lefty serve, more of a precision returner in his game, so he's going to be using chip returns, block returns, lob returns, anything to get the ball back in play. Contrast that with the style of Bruno Suarez. Suarez is the type of power returner. He's going to go for his shots. He's going to rip a few down the line. You're going to see him hold a lot of his shots, which is what he does very well on the return of serve.
Why is the body serve so effective in doubles?
Well, a lot of times when you're playing a returner who likes to play a little closer to the court, a body serve won't allow them to take a big crack at the ball, big backswing. So when you get that body type of serve going to the right spot, more of a defensive return, the net player can take full advantage. Great pickup there by Mello, and is able to get the net court and then dotting with keeping those hands in front. That's the key when you're close to the net. Keep those hands in front.
What's going on there when they put the hand over the mouth?
Yeah, I think they're discussing now the best place to serve, and the server's intentions will be discussed, and also the server's partner's intentions on the I formation. Hopefully this is nothing serious. This match has been very well played so far. Could have been just maybe on a certain shot he just went out for and maybe felt a tweak in the back. Not sure if it was something that perhaps happened before the match or in the warm-up. You can definitely see some tightness that he's being treated for.
Yeah, sometimes it's just a little bit of a manipulation.
Robbie, just talking a little bit about this tournament, it's actually the third oldest event on the tour right now, 135 years. The 2016 Rogers Cup.
Wow.